What's up, y'all? We are finally here. Hopefully, my mic is picking up everything I'm saying. But we are finally here. Traitors Season 2, Episode 1. We're going to start with Episode 1 today. I'm going to try and get Episode 2 out tomorrow. And then Episode 3, I'm going to try and get that out um, probably Sunday, like around 12. I'm going to try and film it early. I just finished watching Episode 1. This is the premiere episode. It was very good. We all know this cast is it's one of the most probably best assembled reality casts. And when I say reality cast, like you got all types of personalities from all different walks of reality TV. And we're gonna get into it. Those of you that have ended up dropping on this video, please thumbs up the video. Please drop your comments. And please subscribe if you have not already, because I'm gonna be here the whole season, which is till March. I believe it's the first and second week of March. We got a good show. We got a good cast. We got some good games. We got some good scheming. We got some good plots, and it's gonna be good. I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be talking about it, and I want y'all to jump in the comments and talk to me about it as well. But like I said, if you are new here, thumbs up the video. Drop your comments on what you thought, what your thoughts are going into the next couple episodes, and we're gonna get into it. Let's go. All right. So we get into the episode and we find out there's $250,000 on the line. The winner of Traitors will get 250. Well, at this time it was $250,000, but we're gonna get to it. We get to everybody. Everybody's riding in their little Sprinter. It was like looked like a Mercedes G wagon that they all was in. Money. I can't remember if it was, but it looked like it. If not, it was a Jeep, either a Jeep Patriot, something. Regardless, they all look good. Everybody's riding in there, pretty much buses to go get to the castle, and everybody's kind of like sizing each other up. I found it interesting the way they had certain people in certain cars together because it was just so random, but just so crazy to see all these different people that we've seen on TV on different shows mixing and mingling and being in the same car together. That was just weird to me. But we get Marcus Jordan, who is the son of the greatest, the greatest basketball player of all time, Michael Jordan. He's planning on being a cutthroat player. He wants to get in there and he wants to literally play that game. He's used to winning. His dad is a winner. It's in his blood to be a winner, and that's what he wants to do. Parvati of Survivor. If you don't know Survivor, go watch her seasons. She is one of the best players to ever play that game. Arguably, probably some will say she is the best player to play that game. She is not looking forward to seeing Sandra. She said, it's funny how she said her name, which I don't know if she knew coming into this because the cast was spoiled before they even got there. But even if she didn't, it's funny that she ended up thinking of her because they both would make sense on this show. But she's not looking forward to seeing her because of the way that they ended up at the end of that season that they played together because she lost. Sandra won. But they ride up. Everybody's getting there. They're all excited. They're screaming because there's dudes out there and they're drumming and just welcoming them in. CT gets out. He notices Bananas there and he's like, of course, Bananas is here. I can't escape him. Even on another show, he is right here with me too. Dan and Janelle from Big Brother. Dan, in my opinion, the greatest player to ever play the game. He is my favorite player to ever play that game. Janelle is a comp beast. She, apart from her takes on certain personal events, Janelle is a threat. Janelle is a very, very strong competitor when it comes to playing a game. She is a competitor. She likes to win. She does win. In competition, she wins a lot. So Dan also mentions that he hasn't seen her in a decade. Last time they saw each other was season 14 when they played together. And that was the season where he ended up evicting her, which is the last time that they really was in the same space together. But everybody's mixing and mingling. Everybody's low-key sizing each other up, which is just interesting to watch. Dan is excited because it's just a mixture. Like I said, it's a mixture of so many different reality TV personalities mixed into one that you normally would not ever see. But the fact that we're getting to see it now is interesting. And I'm pretty sure they were feeling the same way we are watching it. Just super nostalgic. It's like not even nostalgic. It's just super exciting and just like intriguing because you're like, how is this going to work out? Who's going to do what? Who's going to partner with who? Who's going to stab whoever in the back? Because there's a lot of people here that will stab somebody in the back and smile on your face doing it. But Alan comes out, the host of the show, who is just so entertaining to me. But he comes out and he greets him and gets him pumped up for the game. Lets him know that the winner is walking away with 250 thou wow. And soon he will select the Traitors. That's what we're all excited about. Who is going to be the Traitors of the season, starting it off? Because we know eventually down the line we're gonna add some more. But we're excited to see who's gonna be the first ones to be Traitors. So he pretty much lets him know, like, the Traitors, they're gonna have to murder each one of y'all, and as the faithfuls, those who didn't get picked to be the Traitors, your job is to sniff out the Traitors and make sure there's no Traitors at the end. Because, like he said, if a Traitor's at the end 10 times out of 10, they're gonna take that money, just like Sari did last season. And I didn't get to review last season, but my thoughts, a lot of people, some people thought Sari was wrong for doing what she did. I don't. I would have done exactly what she did. We're gonna get to something else later on that happens in the episode. I would have done the same thing. But me, when I come into a show, if I'm coming onto a show and I don't know you, I don't owe you no loyalty. At the end of the day, I was there for the money to begin with. And if I get the chance to steal the money, I'm going to do that. I'm not, I mean, granted, you're gonna get close to certain people, but we're all here for a game at the end of the day, and that's what I would do. But he told them, beware of who you trust, because, like I just said, the traitor can take that money. So they all go inside. We get CT, Trishelle, and Bananas, the real world. We'll start with the real world crew because that's where they came from. They both, all three of them, ended up on the challenge, but essentially their original shows was the real world, which I miss so much. It's bred some of the best reality TV personalities of all time. But they are together at the bar. CT and Trishelle, they're both wary of each other. They're like, okay, how's this gonna go? Because the last time they seen each other, I want to say was, CT said it was in Thailand, but I want to say it was Rivals 2 of the challenge, if I remember correctly. Both of them are wary of each other. CT's like, I don't know where we stand. Trishelle's like, I hope I'm the traitor because I can get him out. I don't have to worry about him trying to come for me if I'm the traitor. And still, she don't trust him, and I don't blame her. I wouldn't trust him either, but I wouldn't trust Trishelle either. That's the thing, though. But Sandra, she ends up walking into a room that Parvati is in there talking to. I want to say the Drag Race. I think she was talking to the Drag Race. Is it Drag Race? RuPaul's Drag Race. Yeah, she was talking to the drag queen. I can't remember what her name is. I'm gonna figure it out eventually. But they were in there talking, and Sandra comes in there, and this, when I tell you, this was the most awkward, like, super tense moment of the episode. They got in there, and you could tell they both looking at each other like, I don't even like you. I don't want to be in your face. Especially Sandra. Sandra was giving like Ice Queen the whole time. Parvati was trying to be like she was trying to be personable, but she was pretty much noticing and like sizing her up too. Like, this is gonna be rough. I know you probably gonna come for me, and you know I'm probably gonna come for you, but I'm trying to put on a brave face to where you don't think I'm coming for you. Parvati is playing the game. Sandra is sniffing the bullshit. She already knows what's about to happen. But that's what Sandra said too. She said, we're going to, in your face, I'm going to make it seem like we're going to be playing good, but any chance that I get when I smell that bullshit, you gone. But Phaedra and CT, they are looking at the wall of everybody, and they're starting to size people up, which this was funny. She was saying that Bananas gave her repo vibes, and CT was cracking the fuck up because it is funny because it's like looking at him on that wall. If you didn't know nothing about Johnny Bananas, you would have a lot of different opinions about him. But Bananas is doing a toast as always, and Janelle is talking to Kevin from Bling Empire, pretty much getting him up to game on Bananas and his history with his show, and lets him know strategically. I know this was strategic on Janelle's part. She emphasized that he's won this game, the challenge, 7 times. That is something that needs to be said. Like, 7 times you win in a show, game show, 7 times. And he almost won House of Villains too, even though I think that was filmed after this. No, it was definitely filmed before this, but it was aired after this. But yeah, Phaedra is putting CT up on game about Larsa and Marcus because apparently CT had no idea about their connection. She was like, the fact that Larsa is Scottie Pippen's ex-wife and Marcus Jordan is Michael Jordan's son. It's like two of the greatest players of all time on one of the greatest teams of that segment of their championship wins. Like, And then you know that they together, and you know they're gonna be pretty much looking out for each other the whole time. And it's just like at this point they do have to go. Like they should be the first targets essentially because you know they're gonna look out for each other. But Larsa is downplaying it. Larsa's like she there with Marcus, but they both are there looking out for each other. They're not. She's pretty much trying to downplay them not looking out for each other, but them being individuals in the game and wanting to win, which I do honestly believe is definitely true, especially on Larsa's end. Larsa just gives like she wants to win. She wants to be conniving. That's why I like that she's on the show. But Marcus, he said he's trying to be a cutthroat player too. So we'll see if they cut each other if they get the chance to. That would be interesting and that would be very entertaining. But we get the roundtable with Alan. He's pretty much letting us know like this is where it's going down. And the group ends up heading down to the round table, and Alan's doing his speech, letting them know the traitors are about to be selected. This is the last time y'all gonna be looking at each other as equals, because there's gonna be certain people in here that are gonna be lying to your face, and certain people in here are gonna be trying to get you out. But we get a commercial. Alan then has them blindfold themselves. He lets them know that if you feel my hand touch your shoulder, you are a traitor. And everybody, I was so anxious watching this. I felt like I was there. But he goes around and starts tapping people, and the first person he taps is the first person I wanted him to tap, and it was Dan. Dan makes the perfect traitor. Like the way Dan, if you have not watched Dan, go watch season 10 of Big Brother and go watch season 14. I would say one is better than the other, but honestly, no. Both of those seasons, he played hella good games. In terms of a lower key, not as conniving game, season 10. If you want to talk about somebody who like literally played the most ruthless game, go watch season 14. Dan's funeral. Even if you don't even watch the whole season, just go watch Dan's funeral. YouTube it. But he's the first one. He's excited because he knows he was a natural born traitor. Like he was born to play this role. And he knows some people won't suspect him, which I'm like, why would you? Well, some people won't suspect him because they don't know who he. Some people might not know who he is. Me watching the show, I would suspect him because Dan is essentially a traitor in real life. Like this is something that you would expect from him if you know who he is. But the next person, which I thought was perfect, and I was so glad, the second traitor picked is Phaedra Parks from The Real Housewives and Married to Medicine. She is equally as excited about it. Phaedra is a lawyer. Phaedra is a known liar. If you have not seen that one moment on The Housewives, which I don't know if you don't even have to watch that show to know that one particular reunion where she accused Candy of SA and trying to DRUG Portia Williams. Like, you can't get more traitor than that because Candy and Phaedra was like best friends at one time. So it's perfect for her. But Janelle is pissed because everybody's been picked at this point. She's pissed because she ain't been picked. And Janelle wanted to be a traitor, and now she's scared. She's like, now I'm vulnerable at this point. I want to be the one making sure that I'm the one KILL in people. But Tamara is confident that she can spot them out because she is a bullshit sniffer. That would be me. I could sniff bullshit from a mile away, just like she said she could. But Alan lets them know that the traitors are going to compete. What did he say? No, he said they're not complete. So we still got two more traitors to. Well, actually, the two traitors are going to select another to make their three. It's going to be three traitors, I guess, for the first part of the season. But Janelle is asking John after he walks away. They still sitting there at the round table, and Janelle is asking John, who was literally sitting right next to her, if he was okay because he was breathing heavy when he was walking around. And John was like, "I'm asthmatic." Like, and granted, he could have been breathing heavy because I personally watching the show, I was anxious. I know they was anxious because it's like, damn, I could literally be picked, or damn, I'm not gonna get picked. That's a very anxious moment because but Janelle was sizing them up. Janelle was being strategic. She noticed the hesitation in Alan's walk when they got to that area where they both were. So she's essentially saying, you probably done got picked. And she doing it. And as she's doing that, Larsa is on the other side of the table stating that when Alan stopped by them, which she's sitting next to Parvati, said she felt him raise his arm and like his jacket was like raising around Parvati. So now she's kind of putting the light on Parvati, like, you are a traitor. Parvati's pissed. She's like, bitch, don't start that shit. Like, she is shook because everybody's looking too. So Parvati, Larsa said that her hearing was good, and Parvati said it's a good strategy for her to choose that, or at least try to make her out to be a traitor, doing that because she might be a traitor. She's trying to shine light on me when she might actually be the traitor. That's what Parvati's thinking. But Parvati told Larsa, "You are barking up the wrong tree. Don't start this shit with me." She said that. She said you are barking up the wrong tree in her face. And Parvati, if you don't know Parvati, you already know that girl's a gamer. But they go and disperse. Everybody's scheming, planting seeds. Janelle and Trishelle, in my opinion, are starting their duo. They appear to be a duo. Essentially, I would think the two of them would be a duo, just looking at the cast. But Larsa is in there talking to Dan Ikensu. I don't know who she is. I'll eventually figure out how to say her name. I said Sheree, but I don't even think Sheree was even in that room. But Tamara and Trishelle were also in there. And they talking about Parvati. Dan is happy because it's already getting the heat off of him, with Larsa pretty much either pointing a finger at Parvati, getting heat on her for, like, some people might think she's deflecting. Parvati is getting heat on her because there's heat on her and she's low key frazzled and trying to figure out how to pretty much defer it off of her. And Dan's just happy about it. He knows it's good because essentially he could choose one of them two too to be a shield, especially Larsa, considering how Larsa is so vocal. They're like, we could literally pull her in to be a traitor and frame her because essentially everybody would think she would be one anyways by the way she's acting. But Janelle is telling Phaedra about John hyperventilating. Janelle said if she gets murdered tonight, she knows it's him. Like she said, I just want y'all to know, like, if I get murdered tonight, just know it's him because I done told y'all he was over here acting a fool. But Phaedra says she's gonna sit and listen, take notes. She's gonna take part in the conversations, but she's gonna sit there and listen, nod, agree, and not take part in the conversation. She's not gonna add too much of her opinion into it whenever they're talking about the traitors, but she's gonna be there to listen in, seem like she's invested in what they're talking about to kind of keep the heat off of her, which is a smart strategy. But sometimes you do have to add some 2 cents because if I'm talking to you about a trader and you're not saying too much, you just sitting there nodding your head and agreeing, my antenna's gonna go off. But as that's happening, Parvati coming, she's pretty much walking around trying to clear her name. Not Bernie, Bergie of Love Island, who is honestly the most he is the most out of place out of everybody. Like he is the most out of place. Everybody on the show is essentially known for something like big. He just got off Love Island. Everybody else has been they've been somewhere. But Bergie is being his awkward normal self. If you don't know Bergie, go watch Love Island. This is how he acts, like normally. Like he's super like shy and super like anxious. And the Kensu, she is literally noticing it. She's like, "You're literally sitting here drinking," because she started talking about being a traitor and stuff. And he's drinking his water. His face is beet red. He's blushing hard, and he starts sweating. Like all that stuff that essentially you should not be doing in this instance when talking about being a traitor. You're trying to not look like you frazzled because that would give it away. And Larsa notices too. Bananas also notices. Bananas is like he's pretty much in over his head being here. And Bergie was pretty much saying he wants to prove himself. He wants to prove that he can't be manipulated. He wants to prove that he can figure out how to sniff the traitors. So the next scene, they ended up heading out to the mission. Tamara is sick. She's the only one not partaking in the mission today, but there are locks that are in the water. They're like out in this, like, I don't want to call it a river, but it's essentially a river. It's an open body of water. They've got like probably 8 or 9 different locks. Maybe I might be less than that, but they have to swim out to gather the puzzle pieces to put together. And there's some beacons in there, so they have to assemble a large beacon in the water. Like I said, they have to swim out, gather the puzzles, put them together. There's a replica of the image that they're trying to put the puzzles together to make. So, and it's pretty much spread out around the shoreline, so they have to go get that to actually get the key. It's pretty much an answer key. But if they assemble it in 40 minutes, they get to add 30 G's to the pot. So you get to add 30 to that 250K. So if they fail, they don't get no money, which we're going to get to something later on that I noticed. But Alan also lets them know that they're not just playing for the money this year. They're also playing for themselves, like their lives in the game. And there are 3 shields that are out there to be taken. And the shields grant you safety for that particular night for the murder. So if you get the shield, you're good. You're not getting murdered that night. So this is the interesting part. Janelle immediately is like, I'm going straight for that shield. Fuck y'all, I'm going straight for the shield. I would do the same thing, honestly. And it doesn't look too good sometimes. It depends on how you did it, which we'll get to. But I would have gone for the shield too, because why do I want to make myself super vulnerable? But we'll get to it. Bananas is pointing out how and he made very valid points with this. The traders could either go for the shield to kind of like defer the energy off of them, because if you're going for the shield, essentially you know that you possibly could be murdered or targeted, and you're basically trying to get the shield to protect yourself and essentially let people know I'm not a traitor. Bananas thinks the traitor could literally go for the shield to do that opposite and be like, okay, well, I'm not a traitor. I'm trying to keep myself safe all the while they're the traitor, which is smart. But Alan also brings out people to tie them up because they're going to be tied up. They start off tied up. So they start the mission. Alan starts the clock. It's 40 minutes. And they start counting it down. Everybody's trying to untie themselves. And of course, who's the first one to get untied? Janelle. Janelle takes off sprint. She's going straight for that shield. And everybody's looking at her like, damn, bitch. Because everybody was trying to like pretty much say, like, if you get untied, try and help everybody else out because we're trying to get everybody out there to get the puzzles because it's a timed event and we're trying to get this extra money. Janelle took off running. She took off running. I don't know if I would have did it that way because it does make you look selfish in that moment, even though I would be I'm selfish. In terms of a game, I would be selfish. But Janelle took off running. She wasn't worried about them. She took off running, got that shield, and then she came back and worried about. But everybody was noticing that. And John, the old man, it was funny because when everybody else was starting to get untied, Bananas was pushing the boat that they gonna get out on to go out there and row to go get to them puzzle pieces. John was standing on the boat when he was pushing it, and John about fell and busted his ass. And John is I died laughing. But some of them are rowing the boats. Some people are looking for the replicas. So Marcus, CT, Max, and Deontay Wilder, they all on the same boat, and it's just like such an alpha boat. Like you got Deontay Wilder, you got Marcus Johnson, Marcus. Damn, why am I blacking out? Marcus Jordan, CT, and Max from Dancing with the Stars. Like a bunch of alphas. But Dan is with the women, and he's already strategizing. Dan's like, I want to be involved, but not. I don't want to look like I'm the leader because if something goes wrong, they can easily blame me there. Or I don't want to look like I'm doing too much. I don't want to do the least to where they can blame me there. Like you didn't contribute to nothing. So Dan's playing a smart game, of course. Bergie is still tied up. He's the only one back there tied up, and Phaedra and Sandra are back there trying to get him out. Bananas is wanting to prove his whole gist of his existence in Traitors. He wants to prove that yes, he can win challenges, but he wants to turn it into an instance where it's like, yeah, I'm winning, but I'm helping us. Like I'm an asset to help us get more money to the prize pot. That's what he wants to. He wants people to think that. But Bananas, with your track record, I would be like, get your ass out of here because you ain't trying to help nobody. We know you're gonna steal some money at the end of the day because you've done it before. But the alpha boat that ends up pulling up to the shield, CT gets his big ass off that boat. And when I tell you that big ass nigga, he took off swimming. He was swimming. He's like, I'm about to go get this shield at this point. I don't want people to think I'm like Janelle where I'm super selfish. But he takes off. Deontay ends up seeing one and he takes off too. So the three of them go, well, not even the three of them, but Deontay, CT, and Janelle, they are the three that get the shield. So those three are safe. Kevin is worrying about it because he sees CT and Deontay at this point running to go, well, not running, swimming to go get these shields. And he's like, the time is starting to run down. At this point, it was 18 minutes left to get it done. But Phaedra is out here looking for Sheree. Like, where's Sheree at? And Sheree's over there looking for clues. And Sheree ends up being the one that finds the clue, which is so just ironic because nobody would think Sheree would be the one to find something. She's not all the way right up there, but Sheree ended up finding it. So they go tell them the rest of pretty much the puzzles are basically forming a shield. So they have the paper that has the image of what it's supposed to look like. At this point, it's 10 minutes left to solve this puzzle. And Trishelle is looking at everybody. Everybody else is out there screaming. Some people don't even look like they want to be there. Some people look like they just like borderline about to die. They out of shape. They in the water, don't know what they doing. And then there's a lot of people screaming. There's a lot of people screaming. There's no real leader at this point. And there's 3 minutes left. Everybody's still shouting their own ideas. Janelle, CT, Dan, Bananas, and Parvati. They decide to all work together, and that's when the pieces start to come together. And of course, it would be the Big Brother comp beast, the two challenge legends, and you got Dan, also a Big Brother legend, and then you got Parvati, a Big Brother legend. I'm not a Big Brother, a Survivor legend. So they all got the puzzle pieces together. Um, and then they all have to get back on land. That's the thing too. They all got to get back on land. They got to get on land to detonate what they need to detonate to win. It was 13 seconds. When I tell you it was 13 seconds showing, whenever they was literally trying to get back, and they was like in the middle. From my opinion, they were in the middle of the water. Why they get back and detonate that thing just in time? I'm like, ain't no way they swam 13 seconds that fast to get back to shore to detonate. I was like, that's crazy, but whatever. I'm gonna let them have it. But they added 30 G's to the pot. Everybody's excited. Allen is highlighting that Janelle, CT, and Deontay got their shields. I thought that was strategic. I felt like he was like, okay, look, these three over here, they wouldn't got them shields. They was being selfish. But Janelle, she says she gonna be sleeping good, knowing that she good, and everybody else gonna be shitting themselves. But Sheree is in the car driving home, talking about Janelle, pretty much saying Janelle was being selfish, running straight for that shield, which she was, but I don't blame her. But they ended up getting back to the castle. Phaedra's wanting to recruit somebody that's not like her, and that somebody wouldn't attach to her, and that's CT. She likes CT. She knows he's a gamer, and she says she got a little bit of a crush on him, which would make sense because I don't think from just looking at the cast, you wouldn't think those two would work together. So that's smart. Dan is picking Peter's brain about the recruitment, and Peter's pretty much saying it's going to be difficult for him to be a traitor. I'd have been like, okay, bye. There's nothing else for me to talk to you about being a traitor because you're not gonna be good at it. I don't want nobody working with me that is too scared to make moves and stab somebody in the back. But Dan also ends up noticing that Janelle is standing there, so they finally have their talk. Dan already knows how Janelle operates. Janelle has no problems being cutthroat. She has no problems doing what she needs to do to win. And Janelle wants that. We all know Janelle wants that because she said it. But Dan is also eyeing Parvati. Parvati, in his mind, is a female version of him, which is not too far fetched. She's used to getting close to people and cutting them at the end when it's time to cut them at the end. She's a good pick too. Also, he's eyeing Sandra. Sandra is a Survivor legend who is also ruthless. And that's why this cast is so good because there's so many cutthroat people here. But as Sandra and Dan are having a conversation about this, Max decides he wants to peep his head in the room. Of course, them two being game players, they try to play it off like, come on in here. And Max is like, no, I'm good. Wrong. You should have never did that. You should have sat your ass down because them two, and you walk away too, they gonna look at you like, damn, he ain't here trying to scheme. He's trying to sneak, trying to be nosy and stuff. They will. I'm pretty sure. I haven't watched episode 2 yet. I'm about to watch it once I finish this, but I wouldn't be shocked if they start targeting him. But Trishelle, she is worrying about the drag queen because she made a joke because the drag queen. I'm gonna get the name. Trust me, I am. I'm not saying this on purpose because I just don't remember her name. But they were talking about how they both have outfits, like a bunch of outfits that they want to show and show off. And Trishelle said, like, yeah, if I go home, I know it's you because essentially, like, we both got all these nice outfits, and you don't want me to show you up, so I know for a fact if I go home, it's you. And the drag queen, she was not having it. Like, she did not take that joke lightly. She was like, no, I don't like that. And Trishelle is worried about it. And she's like, I did. Like, the way she took that was weird. Like, why is she acting like that? And it's like, Trishelle, essentially, you can't just be saying shit like that. And she said it in front of a group of people, too. So it's just like, But, and that also is interesting, too, because we'll see if that actually builds to become a rivalry. But Phaedra and Dan, they decide to go head down to meet Alan to go ahead and be officially summoned as traitors to go pretty much have their vow. They say their vow about keeping their identities between them, being cutthroat, making the decisions to kill off people, and they both are excited. They go in there and meet each other, and they both are excited because both of them were not really expecting to see each other. Phaedra is shocked because Dan is so introverted and she never thought it would be him. I'm like, Phaedra, you need to go do your research because Dan is literally a traitor. He's perfect for it. But Dan is equally as in the dark about Phaedra. He's like, I don't know if she has that much experience. She's used to being on the Housewives, but it's different. Like the different backstabbing is different than playing the game, and he don't know if she has the experience to do it. Like I just said earlier, she got the experience. She's a traitor. The way she did Candy, she's a traitor. Y'all both don't realize it, but y'all both are perfect for this role. But they begin strategizing and they're excited because they know people are not going to suspect them working together. Because on paper, you don't put Dan and Phaedra together. You just don't. So they're excited about it and they start strategizing. They start throwing out names. Phaedra throws out Sandra first. Dan knows that she won Survivor twice, and she's stone cold. Dan throws out Parvati. Phaedra's like, well, she already got spotlight on her, and Dan's like, yeah, we can use that to our advantage. She could be a shield for us. And Phaedra's like, okay. Phaedra then throws out Janelle. She says Janelle is a gamer. Like, Dan is like, yeah, you're right. She is. She's super competitive. She likes to win. She's loyal. And Phaedra also throws out Larsa. She said because she knows Larsa is cutthroat and Marcus is there though, but they need to be broken up. And essentially, if you put Larsa as a traitor with those two, and it's three traitors, say Dan and Phaedra want to get out Marcus and Larsa don't. You have to come to an agreement, and two is gonna outweigh one, so they could literally get Marcus out. And then that would show how Larsa would handle it. What if Larsa snaps out because of it? That would make great TV. But they were strategizing about that. Phaedra thinks Larsa, Parvati, Sandra, or Janelle is best for the traitor. And they make their choice. They put it in the envelope. Alan comes in to collect the note, lets them know the third traitor will join them the next night, which is tomorrow in the episode, to go ahead and join to make, I guess, the next killing. I don't know if the third person is killing first. Maybe they are. We're going to see. Episode 2 is coming. So the final member, he goes through and passes the notes around because we get the little. I love the way they're editing the show too. Peacock does such a good job. But they had like everybody laying in their room, sleep, or at least trying to act like they sleep, getting up, looking all anxious and stuff. And he delivers a note under somebody's door. And we're going to find out who that is next episode, which will be tomorrow for y'all. If y'all got through this episode, thank you so much. Thumbs up the video, drop the comment, share. Let me know who y'all excited to see. Let me know who y'all think the traitor is going to be, even though y'all already know because it already dropped. They dropped 3 episodes tonight, which I don't like that they did because I feel like I got to rush to get them out. But I'm going to be here every week. I'm going to try and get them out every Friday night. But yeah, thumbs up my video. Subscribe if you're new here. Follow me on my socials. Push the channel. Go watch the rest of my videos because I got a lot more content coming out. And yeah, I'll see y'all tomorrow.